Hey y'all, John here. I wanted to share some thoughts about building something. You know, for so long, I have had dreams in my heart just like you to build a business or an entrepreneurial idea. I've had many ideas over the years, and Amy and I joke about this all the time that we could literally sell a book that says make millions on our ideas, something to that effect, because we've had so many of them, and we feel just like everyone else feels that they're great ideas. However, I'm discovering in this consciousness and this awakening that we have been in for a while now is that business in general, the way we've done it throughout society, in the Western nations especially, is completely dissolving. It's like crumbling faster than we could even build it. Is that happening to you? And let me break this down a little bit. Say you have an idea and you get excited about it and you're like, man, this is brilliant. This is going to get me out of the job that I hate, or this is going to really help to serve people and make the world a better place. It could be a combination of both, right? Or you just have this great idea and you put your hand to it, and then all of a sudden the excitement leaves. And then you're looking to the outside of yourself. I don't know about you, but this has happened to me. In the past, I look outside of myself and then I start looking at, okay, what entity or what darkness or, what's opposing me kind of thing. Instead of looking internally first and saying, hold on a minute. Is this in alignment with Eden rising within my soul? Because Eden is rising in the earth. It's rising in us. This soil right here, called the humanity, called the human anatomy. It's rising within us to reveal something of an effortlessness that we have not known in our generation or generations before us. You see, let's go back to that place, which we're not going back, by the way. We're retuning, we're not returning. We're retuning to the Eden that's within us. It's the kingdom. So, but just go back for a moment to Adam and Eve and just think with your spirit for a moment what you think life would be like in the garden. Well, we hear all kinds of interpretations of that in religion and, philosophy or whatever. And a lot of those interpretations say things like, well, he was a gardener, so he had John Deere tractors and tools and backhoes and things like that. And he was grinding it out. He was hitting it hard and he was sweating and toiling, even before the fall. That gives that connotation. It gives that kind of perception with some thoughts, right? Some people that have taught this have said, well, yeah, he was tending the garden, so he was rocking it, getting blisters and that kind of thing. It won't outright say that, but the thought is there. The feeling is there. But the truth of the matter is that what Adam was actually tending was the harmonic field within himself. In other words, he was keeping himself in tune with the song of unconditional love. He was the note that was being played first as a human, that Jesus completely delighted in, God completely delighted in, right? And said, wow, that is a beautiful note. That is a beautiful melody that Adam is walking with me playing in the Song of All Songs. And so then what happens is that he began to wane and began to lower that frequency as he turned away from the song. And then we read about or hear about the fall into sweat, stress, and toil. That the soil would not yield up its strength anymore to Adam. In fact, it was in disharmony. So whenever it falls, whenever anything falls under an egoic construct, it's going to turn out in a out of tune melody, an out of tune song. And you know what it's like when you hear something that's out of tune. You're like, oh, that hurts my ears. That hurts my hearing. Oh, think about that for a minute. That that distortion interrupts my ability to hear from God, from great things within your own self, the Eden within. There's a distortion that comes in when that note is misplayed or out of tune. So we're constantly being retuned to see where the kingdom is, where our life is matching the kingdom, in other words. Are we in tune or out of tune? It has nothing to do with right and wrong, guys. Nothing to do with that. That's what religion teaches us. What this has to do with is, am I in tune? Oh, no, just allow the retuning from God within, Eden within, to retune you to the song so that the harmonic flow happens once again. Like it's always going. The song is always playing. But are we in tune with it? And that's what happened. So life was bliss. Everything was yielding up its strength. Everything was magnetized to Adam and Eve until they decided to play the song out of tune, their note. So think about this when you're building something, when you're putting your hand to a venture, putting your hand to something that you think is good. Maybe it's a fish taco. Maybe it's a juice stand, whatever it is. And you're like, okay, this is exciting. But here's the beautiful part. Even if you follow through with it and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this thing. And then day 1, you're like, oh, this isn't what I thought it would be. And then day 30, you're like, this sucks. I want out. That's okay. It's okay. It's perfectly okay to experiment and have that happen. Why? Because you're being retuned. And here's the beautiful thing. Once we hit the tuning fork starts harmonizing, then you realize that you're being provided for without you doing anything. That's effortless provision. So we'll talk more about that as I have in other videos, but we'll talk more about what that looks like. It's not about sitting around eating a bag of Doritos because that's bad for you. It's about retuning to the song. And what do you do when you're playing a song? You create more and more and more melodies, more songs. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. So you're active. In fact, you're more active, but it's giving you energy this time. So we allow ourselves to float back in, or sync, S-Y-N-C, back into that song of all songs, and the note is played in tune. And then the harmonic field around us, in us, and around us starts providing for us without us having to do anything, not working for it. That's Eden. That's where we're at, and that's where we're headed. So remember, if you're building an empire, you're building a business, an idea, and it's not working, don't blame the devil. Look within you to see if you are out of tune or in tune, in harmony or out of harmony. That's all sin is deharmonization, is out of harmony with what you know to be true about you, the authentic you. All right, more later. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next time.